Hey Rockstars, I'm JB, expert salesperson and master presenter.
I'm the doctor, psychologist, and behavioral expert.
This is the Entrepreneur Mastery Lab podcast.
We're high-performance coaches that help service-based professionals and entrepreneurs take their skills to the next level.
70% of entrepreneurs fail, which is why every week we have real talk with real entrepreneurs to help ensure you are not one of them.
We're also the inventors of the Be Rich mindset,
where we rise to mastery,
inspire greatness,
celebrate knowledge,
and help others along the way.
So join us in the lab.
And now, on to the show.
What's up, Rockstars? Welcome back to the lab. I'm JB.
I'm the doctor.
If this is your first time joining us, welcome to BBB, Better Business Brewing. Do us a favor, and by the end of the episode, or at least before you head out, give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever you want to do, whatever platform you like. We appreciate it. And if you happen to be a returning viewer or listener, welcome back to BBB. This is also a podcast that will get released in a couple weeks. So not only are we live tonight, but we will be back on our podcast in the future. So thank you all.
Yep. So you can be hearing us live in the BBB, or you can be hearing us on tape delay or video delay on YouTube also.
Kind of like to describe it as like the director's cut. Right, you know, this is the raw footage here versus like the edited stuff on the YouTube channel and the podcast later.
So basically, if you catch us live, you get to hear all the banter we just had before we have our lovely assistant edit it and make it sound better. So if you want the good stuff, you got to come live.
It's true. And speaking of good stuff, if you haven't joined us on BBB before, it's 4Bs. We make sure we always try a new beverage to kick off the night, or at least I make sure I always try a new beverage to kick off the night. Doc, you've been slacking, man.
I have. Well, been slacking kinda. But what is yours? I know you're super excited, so I did not want to keep you from it any longer. Share.
Okay, so I've got myself a little. Can we read that? A Victory Golden Monkey Belgian triple. Little kick in the belly with this bad boy, 9.5%, with a little added spice, according to the can. So you know what? This is the sound of a good night.
So
Go ahead. Go ahead.
As I was going to just say briefly, was as someone who has two sick kids at home, you probably need the 9.5 tonight.
Oh yeah, it's helpful. And I made that sound. Normally I think the sound comes after you have like a drink of your beverage of choice, but mine happened the moment I opened it. It's just like even the release of the popping the top was enough to get the from me. But here's to all you wonderful people out there. Salud, l'chaim, cheers. Here's to another month, another night of Better Business Brewing, and here's to your pre-workout, isn't it? It's your pre-workout. I know it.
This one is my water.
Oh, okay.
Because we are hydrating, and we have a little bit of caffeine over here too. Because yes, we are going to the gym after. But just so I probably have enough in my system from the weekend. So I'm also still partaking from, I went to a nice seafood festival, and it was very interesting that the tickets did not include food, but had open bar, which is usually the opposite of what you get at those kind of things. Usually it's little samplings of food, and then you go buy drinks. But this was quite the opposite. So I partook in a few.
Still waiting for you to describe how your water tasted.
It was very refreshing.
For anybody out there who hasn't tried water before, it's, quote, very refreshing.
And backup water.
Give me so much to work
Also
with.
refreshing.
Well, I'm a fan of the Belgian. I almost always am. Anytime it's about like double the strength of a normal beer, I'm like, ooh, that's good. I've got some fun stories from way back when that I probably will never share live from good, nice, strong beers. So my younger days.
Save those stories for our live events that come out. If you are listening live, we do have one of those events coming up this week. So we will throw the invite in the comments below for those that are live. If you are listening to this on the podcast and or watching us on YouTube, it was an amazing event, and I can't believe you missed it. How dare you?
The event we're having in the future, but because they're listening to it and it will be further in the future. So it's going to be amazing. You're right. I've only had like 2 sips. You're already getting me confused. The beer's not that strong. I swear. All right.
Exactly. So if you haven't heard, sign up, show up. If you missed it, you missed a great time.
Now, what's interesting about this event and what I really enjoy about what we're doing here with this event, number of things, right? We're Halloween themed event, costume party themed event, which is always, right up my alley. I love it. But we're doing it not on our own. We're doing this alongside a partner. It's a joint venture between us and a couple other sponsors, and who makes our lives a lot easier, doesn't it, Doc?
Yeah, it's nice to share the heavy lifting with some others.
And JVs are a big deal. I mean, joint ventures and partnering up with people today, it's, the name joint venture, I don't feel like was around when I first started out in my career. And this is how I can date myself and feel like I'm getting older. Like people didn't say things like joint ventures, just like, oh, we partnered on something. Now it's got its own terminology and everything. It's a big deal, and it's a big business strategy. And people talk about it like it's brand new or something, because nobody's heard the word joint venture before, the term joint venture, but it's not like a new concept to partner with people.
Yeah, it's exciting in the influencer market, though, because that's about how a lot of the influencers making their money is by collaborating with other brands and wearing or displaying their brands on the screen, much like I would do now with my ZOA energy drink. Hi, Rock, sponsor us.
Is it ZOA or is it Zeta Omega Delta?
ZO. You got to drink your ZO and less F and go.
Is that really the slogan?
Yeah, well, that's what he says all the time, I think.
Who?
The Rock.
Oh, that's the Rock's energy drink.
Did you not just hear me say you're not helping my cause of trying to get The Rock to sponsor us?
Well, or I'm giving him every reason to understand why he's not. He's got to pay us if he wants me to do better. That's how joint ventures work.
There you go.
Is that? I don't know. I'm just gonna enjoy the beer while we're at it.
While Jamie's taking a sip of the beer, I would like to remind our lovely listeners that if you are watching us live, please comment and let us know that you're here. That is the only way we can interact with you, is by you letting us know. So send us a comment, ask us a question, slide into our DMs or in the open comments, however you like to do it. Some people like to do it private. Some are cool out in the open. Either way, we love to see your comments and share and answer your questions live on the BBB.
Doc, I want to know from your end, what's your experience been with joint ventures in the past? I mean, you've been around for a long time. You've been in a couple different industries. What's worked, what hasn't worked in joint ventures from your experience?
Yeah, so I have a wide range of ways to go with that one. As most of our listeners hopefully know by now, I've been in a few fields. I was in the hospitality world for a few decades. Well, no, I mean 2 years because I'm not that old. But for a minute or two, was in the hospitality arena. And the whole hospitality arena is built off of joint venues, right? Especially in the bar side of the industry, is how do you work with the companies, which they've changed a lot of the rules on finding over time. But a lot of it was the promoters come in, get you to try their product, get the customers to try their product, and offer incentives to do that. So a lot of it was teaming up with which brand, right? So it might be an exclusive offer. It might be, oh, you do this, then we'll help you out in another way, advertising, whatever it might be. So it was very, very prominent in the restaurant hospitality world. Also teaming up with just different events. When I ran a comedy club, you want to work with the people that are coming into the show, their promoters. You also want to work with maybe some local things in the air to team up with maybe like a dinner beforehand. So there's a lot of ways to do different kind of joint ventures. slide into the arena next, where I work in private practice in the therapy world, they're forbidden. There's no doing any kind of connection. We are not allowed to actually recommend products in that kind of arena because of the expertise status that we hold and the belief that we could hold information or influence over the people that we work with. So we're not even allowed to recommend a product, let alone come up with any kind of joint venture deal. So big polar opposites there. And of course, in the coaching world, again, it's expected, and also it's really great for business. So wide range, depending on the world you're in, on how you can really take advantage of that. Does that answer any of that question?
It was, yeah. I mean, any bad experiences with it? Any like specific instances where you're like, oh, that was a bad idea?
You definitely have to be more cautious these days because people like to get canceled. So you just want to make sure you're picking and choosing. Depending on when you're watching this right now, there's the whole Kanye, Adidas, and people ready to boycott the whole product, and their stock went down, but their stock was going down. So I don't know if it's related. But yeah, stuff like that can have a big role. So like if you're connected with someone who has a tendency to say stuff that might not bring the best press, it could have a negative effect. Of course, the people that I work with were all top notch, as far as you know, and as far as my contracts allow me to say. But yeah, there's always proceed with caution with certain things. Make sure you know you're getting into business with, just like any other thing. How about yourself? You might have some good stories.
Yeah, I mean, I had a ton of experience with partnering up with joint ventures, if you will, with a lot of firms in the financial services space, because I work in wholesale. You kind of are always entertaining and bringing people out and spending money on people. And a lot of times, if you want to really leverage a cool event, you needed multiple budgets to do it because there's caps, there's restrictions, there's regulations on what you can do. And so I had a ton of experience doing joint work with a number of people, and there's a whole ecosystem built around that in like the financial services world. So you might represent a product, and then you might have people who represent products within your product, and now you've got double the spending power for events or over the course of time. And so, yeah, I've had a lot of experience with joint ventures. For the most part, really pretty good. I've had some people no show to stuff in the past though. And I'm never one to throw somebody under the bus, like can happen, but certainly an awkward experience when you're supposed to be co-hosting something with somebody and they just like don't even show. It's a kind of tough one to pass off to your audience and who's in front of you. It's like, oh yeah.
Anyone who's been in college that's ever done a group project knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, may or may not have been like I do have a funny story about that where I took the freaking cake in college, because for most people who don't know me, it's a little bit of a mess in college. I like to think I got my stuff together, but I readily admit I was a little bit of a mess in college, a little bit of a show, and I had a course on.
Surely you just.
I had a course on etymology, right? Or entomology is the study of bugs, and etymology is the study of words, or maybe it's vice versa. It's been a while, right? But I also never went to the class, so you can forgive me if I get it wrong. So, anyways, I take this class because I'm like, it's the root of words, and I'm an English major. I'm good with words. I should be able to ace this class. Can I tell you, this teacher took this course so seriously, Doc, like so seriously. It was so important to him to take this like incredibly I'm still here, right? I just had a little internet drop for a moment.
I wasn't sure if it was you or me, so
I stopped going to the class. No, I stopped going to the class, and I guess there was a group project assigned to the class, and I was assigned to a group, even though I was never in the class. And then one day I just decided to show up to the class. Like a couple months later in the semester, I'm like, I'm probably going to fail if like I don't start showing up to this class. And man, I kid you not, I show up to this class, and what happens? It's group project day. And my group is supposed to be presenting this project. I had no clue even existed. Now this sounds crazy, but I guess somebody in my group she did all the work. And to be fair to her, the teacher was like, well, I'm not giving him any grade because she explained the situation. I didn't earn the grade, obviously, but I was definitely that guy. But I will say, and I'm going to defend myself just a little bit here, she did not email me, and emails were around. I'm not like that old. You could have emailed me and been like, dude, we're on a group project together, get your stuff together. But yeah, I have been that person that just no shows on something when I was younger. That's a long story, but that little insight.
And yes, everyone, JB did just blame his lack of showing up on the lack of email.
I did not. I just gave myself a little bit of breathing space. No,
and if you've been to college and done any group assignments, you've probably been one of those two people. You're either JB who didn't do anything and just shows up for the grade, ironically on the day that it's being presented, or you're the one that did all the work and still getting the credit for everyone else, because some of us just have to pull the slack. It's kind of like our week here.
Don't even go there. I will say, I don't know if it was like a good thing or a bad thing that I showed up that day. I just felt terrible. I would have felt a whole lot less terrible if I never knew. I just didn't know I missed the project. I'd have been a lot more.
They all assumed that you knew and just showed up to get credit.
Right. That's the worst part. And it truly had not, like, it was just, I'm just going to go to this class today. It's been a while. So joint ventures can go wrong. That's for sure. They can go wrong. And sometimes they can go right. But that was a good learning experience. That's what college is, a learning experience, right? It's a place of higher education. You learn. I learned not to do shit like that.
Well, I think there's also, it's probably might be some people listening and going like, what the heck are joint ventures anyways? And put two and two together that it's partnering, but there's lots of different ways that you can do it. Joint ventures could be like a simple relationship, like an affiliate relationship where, you're basically getting paid to help promote the other one. And if you do any kind of promotion, you get something in return. Those are nice and easy ways to kind of help build out your platform or have someone assist you build out their platform, or vice versa. I was trying to say that. But it's an easy way to work together that doesn't have a lot of stress of trying to negotiate, or not negotiate, but so we're looking for that you guys were supposed to be doing on the group project. Collaborate. Oh, yes. Like in an affiliate, you don't have to collaborate a lot to make it work. You can do it pretty independently and still have a good relationship. And there's other relationships that are much more intertwined, which you see with more of the joint ventures, where one side really has the way the group project was supposed to be, where you both have equal responsibility to the project itself and the outcome. And those take a little bit more planning, and you want to definitely make sure you're doing your research if you're working with someone that way. And there's a few other ways that you can connect, like we did in the world, where someone is just part of help you promotions, or there could be just sponsorship. There's so many different ways that you can work together and partner up with people. Those are just a few examples.
And joint ventures from an affiliate perspective, I think that's like the weakest use for a joint venture. It's not to say it can't have great return. You can make a lot of money doing affiliate work with other people, but I think the best meat on the bone with the joint venture, Doc, is the ability to really collaborate in detail and depth with people and do something you wouldn't otherwise be able to do. Now, that might mean take advantage of an audience that's greater than your own natural audience, or take advantage of the influence somebody has with groups of people, or their expertise, or their strengths in hosting an event, or putting together a venue, or managing systems, or whatever it happens to be. And when you can find somebody that can, shore up some of your weaknesses, create an opportunity where otherwise you wouldn't have an opportunity, and maybe even double down on your strengths, that's where you find yourself in a really great position. And it's what I'm excited about going into the next year or so. We've got a great opportunity to do that with a number of our partners. But that is where I think that you get the best returns from joint ventures, is when you can really work with people to create something you would not be able to truly create on your own.
And sometimes it might even be just where they might have funding that you don't have, and they don't really care about the front end stuff, but they can be along for the ride with it. There's a popular show called Shark Tank right now that's basically built off of that idea. So again, a lot of different ways to look at it. And like JB said, that is probably the most effective way to build the connection, is doing that, the connected joint venture. But hey, look, we're all in different places of our business. We're all in different places of comfortability. If you've never worked with someone before or even had any idea of collaboration, doing something like the affiliate might be a good way to get your feet wet. It's a good way to kind of get connected with another company and start to learn how to have this communication in a way that doesn't, not extremely risky, right? Like there's not a lot of risk involved in something like that. So really, depending on where you are, your comfort level, there's all, as we say, one size does not fit all. There's a lot of different ways to partner with people that could be very successful. Really finding which one fits for you and trying different ones. And here's the beauty of it. You can do multiple ones at the same time. Unless there's an exclusivity deal, there's a good chance to be able to do different things.
And there is some risk with partnering with people if you're not used to it and you don't have experience with it. You're dealing with multiple personalities and multiple expectations, and you've got a way of doing something that's probably not the same way somebody else does something. And so now you've got to learn how to work together in a way that you might not have had to do in the past. And that carries with it some risk and can be challenging. And then people might not actually show or follow through to begin with. I mean, you probably have to filter through a number of potential collaboration and partnership opportunities, joint ventures, before you actually land on a good fit where both parties are willing to put in the effort and the work to make it happen. I think that's a little less common than people probably realize. It takes two. Everybody's got to put 100% into it, or if there's more partners that, every individual is responsible 100% for the success. And it requires 100% effort from everybody. So you do have some risk if you're not used to that. And that's a good lesson to take away. If you haven't done this before, just know that it might take a little while for you to find somebody that you actually enjoy working with.
And be willing to see it through. I mean, using that same, like JB just said, someone might not fill in. And if we're using that same example of the project, the group project, the teacher doesn't care who did the work. They just care that you're up there and getting the grade. And I know very few professors over the years, if you try to say someone didn't do the work, that they really cared about that. It was about building that team and getting them to be on board. And guess what? You still had to turn something in. So if you had to do more work, you had to do more work. The same thing in business. If you make a deal to deliver something and your partner doesn't show up, you still got to deliver. That's still your reputation online. So know going in that one way or the other, you're going to have to deliver it, have some contingency plan in place. That's why you just want to be very careful in who you're teaming up with. You're still responsible. Still got to come through.
But great opportunity, great chances to just do more than you were going to do otherwise, or accelerate what you were going to do and have it happen faster. And that, I don't want to undersell how massively important that could be for a professional or a business, be able to accelerate growth or get to a result faster because you're able to partner up with somebody. And when your results are aligned and it doesn't pull away from your business, it's a beautiful thing, man.
Absolutely. I mean, we're a collaboration. JB and the doctor is a collaboration. We're a partnership, and we balance each other with our strengths. And that's why we work so well together, is because we both bring different views, different strengths, different skills to the table. Unfortunately, not everybody out there can have a JB and the doctor to team up with. So this is another way to find some of those people that kind of balance those strengths and really help you excel in certain areas, especially on certain projects.
Just to clarify, any of you could potentially have a JB and doctor to work with if you wanted to.
As a collaborator, yes.
Yes. We're open to the idea. We are.
We definitely are. All you have to do is slide into our DMs.
There you go.
Or find us on any of our social media or hit us up at our website at jbthendoctor.com. We have little contact pages. We have easy ways that you can find us.
I was going to say, if you're going to slide into our DMs, you got to do it clever, and you got to make us laugh. I mean, that's sliding into our DMs. Better be good.
I'm not going to touch the rest of that.
Whatever. Judge me.
Do you feel like we've given people enough good quality entertainment tonight?
Well, I mean, I haven't finished my beer, but that doesn't mean I can't sign off and go and finish my beer.
Slacker.
How's your backup water doing, buddy?
My first water is empty, so I'm glad I have a backup water.
There you go.
Gotta stay hydrated. It's important, kids.
And this is a good conversation. If anybody is looking for more details on joint ventures and how to work with other people and manage behaviors and emotions, I mean, definitely check out some of our resources. We've written about this, a lot in our blogs. It's come up a lot in a lot of our other podcasts. This type of management and working with other people, I like to think those are soft skills we love to help people work on. So if you're looking for resources on that, jbandthedoctor.com, check out our blog, check out previous podcasts.
And if you're interested in getting your feet wet on things, we do affiliate deals also for our coursework and our group coaching and such. So you can contact us in that realm too.
Yes, absolutely. I feel
Also,
good, Doc.
And as a reminder for all of you that might be coming on a little late, we have a wonderful Evolve networking event this week. So if you're listening to it live, it is on Thursday, October 27th. You can definitely just message us and we'll send you over the invite link so that you can register. Space is limited because it's going to be off the hook of an event. And if you're listening to us on the podcast or the YouTube, sorry you missed it.
Well, but Doc, you are dressing up, right? You're getting a costume on for this bad boy?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. I might have a little something up my sleeve. We'll see.
Can't tell anyone.
No, it's a secret. Secret identity.
No hints.
That's all I'm going to share.
All right. Anything else you'd like to share with our audience?
No. Oh, maybe. maybe I do. Anybody watching this on YouTube is probably laughing right now because they're like, oh yeah, totally missed that. All our podcast listeners are like, what are they talking about? If you haven't checked it out yet, we just happen to have a really well-themed and timed 7-minute masterclass, the R.I.P method to 2x your time. You should check it out. We know nobody wants to sit through a 45-minute masterclass. Don't worry, we got you. 7 minutes, all you need to know to 2x your time. This is a method that you can implement tonight, the night that you're listening to this. So go get it, go check it out. Links are in the show notes below.
And of course, you can find us on all our social media at JB and the Doctor or at jbandthedoctor.com, where you can contact us, find that blog that JB mentioned, referenced a few times, as well as our podcast and anything else you'd like to know about us. That's all I got.
Sounds wonderful, man. All right, I think we're good here. We're gonna spare everybody the rest of this pain, and you're gonna drink some water and some caffeine, and I'm gonna finish my beer.
That's what we're gonna do.
That is what we're gonna do. All right, everybody. I'm JB. I'm out.
See y'all Thursday. Peace out, yo.